Guys, you're welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to sew a dart. And so if you don't know how to take your dart measurement, what you are talking about is your nipple to nipple, how to place the dart there to get a perfect shape. I have the video for body measurement there where you can watch and know how to take full body measurement for female, and in this case you'll be able to know how to take your dart. So if you are watching me and you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing, like and share this video. Okay, so let's get to business. I have already made one dart here, and also the back one I've also made one dart there. So I'm going to use it to teach you how to make the other part. Now, in order to get it simple, just make sure you fold the dress, the curtain, into two. And so this is for the front alone. This one is for the front, and I folded it into two. Okay, so that you can get it simple. Do you get it? What you do is you fold it into two. The back two is folded into two. This is the down part. It is both folded into two. Okay, and so from your shoulder, if you don't know how to take measurement, please go through my videos. You will see a video on how to take body measurement, so you will know how to take your dart measurement. If you go to my description box, there's a link there on how to take body measurement. When you watch it, you know how to take your dart measurement. And so from your shoulder, this is the shoulder, you place the tape measure at the shoulder, and then you measure your shoulder to bust. And so your shoulder to bust, what you get, then you add ½ inch to it. This client, the shoulder to bust is 11 plus half is going to be 12. And then the next thing is shoulder to waist, shoulder to waist. And so this is basic that shoulder to waist. And so this one is exactly shoulder to waist plus 1 inch. So this is the waist. Okay, so from when you get this, you will come to this line. This is going to be your bust line, you see, and this is going to be your waistline. Okay, so on your bust line, when you measure your nipple to nipple, from one nipple to the other, the measurement you get, you divide it into two, then you add ½ inch to it. So this line, the measurement is 8. When I divide it into two, it's going to be 4. Then I'll add half to it, and that's going to be 4.5. And so I'll come to the waist here and also measure the same 4.5, and that's going to be 8, my dart line. This is going to be my dart line. Do you get it? Now it is what you do at the waist here that give you that kind of perfect shape you want. And so when you come to the waist here, you are going to measure 1 inch. By the 1 inch, you are going to divide it into two, ½ inch here, ½ inch here. Okay, so ½ inch on each side. And so this is basic dart. Do you get it? This is basic dart that as a beginner you need to know. And so when you get it, you are going to join this to this and this to this. And so you go this way and join it to this. And so this is it. The moment you get this, you are done. The next thing is you will do what you did here, you will do the same thing here. So all that you need to do is to turn it this way and do the same thing here. Now when you look at the that I have here is different from what I have here, because here I did a little bit of adjustment. This is not basic dart. Okay, so what I have here, if I want to do the same thing here, it means I'm going to consider my under bust. If I want the under the breast, that place to be tight, I don't want any gap there, I want the dress to lie flat on the person, then I'm going to consider under bust. So from the shoulder here, I'm going to measure from shoulder to under the breast, and that is 14.5. I'm adding ½ inch to 8, ½ inch to 8, and then when I add ½ inch, that is 15. And so when I come to the under bust here, instead of marking ½ inch like I did here, because I want the under bust to be very tight, I am going to mark 1.5, and that 1.5 I'll divide it into two, so that's going to be 0.75 on each side. And so I'll just place my tape measure here. You see I've placed 4 here, and then this is 0.5, so this is 0.75. And then when you come here to this is 0.5, this is 0.75. Okay, so this time around I'm going to join this to this, and then this to this, and this. You can decide to use a straight ruler to do it, but I usually use my curve. And so this way I'm using a red for you to understand, and then you will come to this way. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing also for here, and then I'm going to go this way. Okay, and so at the end of the day, this is the dart I'm going to work with, but the blue one is what? Basic darts. And so you will do the same thing at the other side. Do you get it? Okay, so now let's go to the back. Now when you come to the back too, you place it here. Now when you measure your shoulder to bust, the measurement you will get, you will reduce 2 to 3 inches from it. That 2 to 3 inches is what you are going to use for your back dart, especially if you have a high neck dress like what I'm having here. And so when I reduce 3 inches from the 11.5, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. That is 8.5. But I'm going to go up and make it 7.5 because this is high neck dress. I'm going to make it 7.5. So I'll come here. This is 7.5. And then I'll come to the waistline, also the same. Now, so this is going to be my dart line. Okay, for the back. And this one to dart line for the back. Now, you should know that the back here has a zip allowance there. And so all that you have to do is to place this on top, the front one on top, and then get your zip allowance. This is where you are going to place the darts. This is for zip. This is for zip, so you get this zip allowance off. Do you get it? And then from this line you are going to measure the 4 inches 4 inches plus half, and that's going to be 4.5. And then you come here, you measure 4 inches plus half, which is going to be 4.5. Then you're going to get your straight line. Okay, and on this you're going to measure your 1/2 inch on each side. 1/2 inch on each side. This one you don't need to consider any underbust. As for back, it doesn't need any underbust. Hope you get it. And so from here you join it straight to this way, and then from here also straight to this. Do you get it? And so this is it. Okay, so this is how you make your basic darts. Hope you get it. You will do the same thing at this side, and so I've done the same thing also here. So this is what? Basic dart. Okay, so this is how you make your dart on your top. That is your upper part. Okay, so we are going to look at the down part. That is, if you are sewing a skirt, how will you make your dart? This one, to have folded it into two, and with the skirt you are going to also come here just as we did, and then the same measurement, that is your nipple to nipple, which is 8, you divide it into 2, and that's going to be 8, and that's going to be 4. And so the 4 you will add 1/2 into 8, and that's going to be 4.5. You place it here. Now with the length of the dart, you are going to look at your hip line. This is where the hip is. The hip is at 8.5. 8.5. You come up 2 inches. When your dart is exactly at your hip, it is not beautiful. You come. So my camera went off. I didn't know, and I'm done here, but I'm going to use this side to teach you. I was saying that if your dart is exactly on your hip, it's not right, it's not beautiful. So let it come up 2 inches up. Do you get it? Okay, so when you get the line, then you're going to place your dart, which is 4.5. You're going to place it here. The next thing to do is you're going to hold the dart at the waistline and not at the hip line. And so on this, you are going to mark 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here, and then join it this way, just as we did for the upper part. Okay, so if you finish this and you don't want to stress yourself by doing it again, you can just come here, take a pin, and then pin it. you pin this way, see, then you turn it this way, and then you will use your chalk to mark it, to trace it. Do you get it? So let me trace this. And then you take off your pins, then we join the points, and then we join this one also, and then we join this one also. Okay, so put this one aside. Now when you come to this one, this is the back, so I'm going to use it to teach you. This is where the zip allowance is. You will also stand here. This is the line, and then mark your 4 inches, which is, mark your 4 inches plus half, which is 4.5, and then you come here and you mark, that is 6.5. Now when you mark this 6.5, you can add half to it to make it 7. You get it? And I'm going to do the same thing for the front one. So 7, then make your 4.5. You see? Okay, so let's mark it straight, and then we are going to have ½ inch on each side this way, and then we will join it this way. And so with the down part, the skirts, that you don't need to use a curve to do it. A straight ruler is okay. And so when you finish this, you can still, when you finish this, all that you need to do is to trace it, just as we did for the front one. You will trace it. Okay, so this is it. So this is how you make your skirt dart, and how you make your dart for your top too. Yeah, so you can choose the blue one or this. Okay, so we are going to do a dart on a straight top. The first one was shoulder to your waist, and this one is shoulder to hip. That is, if you are making a straight top like kaba, then you are also, the dart is a bit different from the other one. And so we have the first line to be the bust line, and then the second line to be the underbust, and then the third line to be our waist. And so we just place the darts on it, and the dart is 4 inches, that is 3.5, added ½ inch to it to make it 4, and we are going to draw it straight. Now if you're making a basic dart, then you don't need the underbust, but this I'm considering underbust. And so we are going to place a dart at the waistline, and that is 1 divided by 2, and that's going to be 0.5 on each side. And then I'll go to the underbust and then place 1.5 there, just as I did for the first one. Yes, then we'll join it. And so 1.5 divided by 2 is going to be 0.75 on each side. Okay, so that is 0.75 on each side. And then when you come to the hip side, we are not going to place anything there. Yes, we are going to leave it like that. And the bust too. So we'll join it from the bust point to the underbust, and then from the underbust to the waist. Yes, to the waist point, and then straight to the hip. Straight to the hip line. And so this dart is for a straight dress, like you are making your straight kaba. This is how you do the darts, or a straight top. But if you are doing a cut and join, that is you use the first method, that is your shoulder to waist. This one is shoulder to hip line. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so we'll go to the back too, and just as we did for the other one, the dart is going to be at 7, and then that is at 8. Sorry, I made it 8, and then I'm going to measure 4 inches. That is 3.5 plus ½ inch 4, and that is on the zip allowance line. And so from there you come to the waist. Yes, so this one, so you come to the waist. So shoulder to waist, we'll measure the shoulder to waist, and then we are going to place the darts there. Measure 4 inches also there. And then the hip line also, and we are going to draw a straight line. So at the waist we are going to have 1/2 inch on each side, 1/2 inch on each side. And then at the hip line, that is the down there, we are not going to place anything there. We are going to leave it like that. And so we are going to join it from this one. We are using a straight ruler. We don't need any curve there, so just a straight ruler. Okay, so that is it. So the next thing to do is to hold the dart. And so if you are choosing the blue one, you are going to hold it this way, you see, and then pin it. So you pin it this way, and you are going to sew on top. Or if you are choosing this too, then it means your pins are going to come here, and you're going to sew on top this way, and you'll be done. And then you do the same thing also for this part. So I'm going to sew the darts. Okay guys, so I am done. This is the darts. I'm done for the down parts. You see, this is the down part, the front, and this is the dart for the upper part, the front, you see. So I am done, and this is for the back also. That's the upper part, one of it. And so this is how you make your darts for either your top or your skirts. This is it. Thanks so much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing, like and share this video for me.